Family businesses make up a quarter of the British economy and employ nearly 10 million people. But 1,000 small firms are going bust every single month.
Sorry.
For God's sake, do something.
For family firms, it's not just profits, but relationships on the line.
We have no life. I used to have one, apparently, but I can't remember it.
This isn't your life. This isn't your family. This isn't your home.
I don't know if it's ever going to get better.
You must see some hope. Otherwise, let's not bother with this. No. I'm Alex Polizzi. I grew up in a family business that expanded from one small cafe to become an empire worth billions. Now I'm trying to bring 6 family firms back from the brink. He's just used to getting his own way, and I'm used to getting mine. This week, a dressing up shop in Essex gets a dressing down.
That's your fault, because you lead by example.
As an obsessive mother...
If you've got more affection towards costumes than you've got to your own family... I've got serious issues.
...who refuses to let go, is forced to face the music.
How many staff am I going to have at the end of next week?
I don't expect everyone to like it. Either get on with it or not.
If they don't like it, then there's not really much I can do about that.
Before her costume dream turns into a costume drama.
This really has been a disastrous day.
Oh, my God.
I've been called to the rescue of Props and Frocks, a family-run fancy dress shop in Essex.
My only experience in fancy dress shops is Angels in London, which is very smart, very well thought out, very well put together, very well themed. Clothes are put together thematically very succinctly. I'm not quite expecting that. I would expect something along those lines.
We've got 3 monkeys in stock and 2 gorillas.
Props and Frocks has become Adele Wiseman's life.
Are you looking for Bo Peep, are you? Or are you looking...
I remember the first week we actually had 4 costumes out on a Saturday night and I was over the moon. I couldn't believe it. And now, 13 years later, we've got over 6,500 hire costumes.
Because they don't look like probably find you something to stuck in there.
There are now 3 generations of Wisemans working for the business.
So the family that works at Props and Frocks is my mum.
Good evening, Joy speaking. How can I help? I'm the noisy one. You? Oh, you filthy. I do like putting my view across.
Then I've got my daughter Reese.
Did you want a tutu to try with it?
And my son Ellis.
He picked up, good morning, how can I help?
It may be a family concern, but for Adele, it's become all-consuming.
This business means the world to me. I really love it. In many respects, it comes first, and so I stress about trying to make sure it all goes properly.
She loves it. She loves it. It's her baby. She lives and dies it.
But it's a business that's in trouble.
Have you not got the invoices yet? No. Oh, no. Oh, dear. The accounting side of the business is not my strong point. Last year, I did overorder. I was completely unaware of the overheads that we were encountering every day.
It's a huge worry because you've got people depend on you to pay their mortgages.
I would hate to see it close after 14 years of hard work.
In truth, Adele came within 4 months of having to close for good. Forced to borrow £40,000, she now works 7 days a week to keep the shop afloat.
Sometimes the hours that I work, I do think, oh my Lord, is it worth it?
My mum works every hour under the sun for not much gain out of it. Like, I get paid more than my mum.
My mum works very hard. She finds it very difficult to take a back seat.
I can't always do it instantly, though.
Why not? Just 30 seconds.
If I'm in the middle of doing something else, I
Like,
can't
what?
just stop
But it's
doing what I'm
30
doing.
seconds.
I do worry about Adele's health. She's on tablets and she shouldn't work so hard.
Adele's work-life balance is terrible. She clearly can't let go. It's crucial I change this in the 2 months I have here. I just hope fixing the business isn't going to be as hard as finding it.
We're driving in what I would call, it's countryside. It's not exactly what I would expect when going to a fancy dress shop. Not at all. Props and Frocks, quality fancy dress hire. Well, the state of the sign belies the word somewhat, doesn't it? It's very tired and wobbly, not even straight. So all in all, I have to say this is not a great first impression.
And sadly, the sign is a sign of things to come.
It's very underwhelming. The effect when you arrive is not one to make you spring out of your car in excitement. And looking through the windows, what you see is the very basic props for fancy dress. There doesn't seem to be any real shop front, and you'd really have to seek this place out to find it. Hello.
Hello.
Adele. I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Really nice to meet you, thank you.
Nice to meet you too.
Now I'm here, I'm dying to have a look around.
Brilliant.
Recently, fancy dress shops have started to face stiff competition from supermarket chains who cash in on selling cheap costumes at Halloween and Christmas, key seasons in this market.
Hire costumes are all down here.
Yup. Gosh.
So, independent businesses like this one need to be at the top of their game.
Tudor, medieval type room. It's also got religion in here, Western, superheroes here, pirates.
This is the Halloween room.
This is a part of it. Right.
Fangs.
Everything.
Yeah.
You name it.
Fake blood.
We have it. This is what we call our decades room, and we go round 20s, round to the 50s, and all the way round 60s and 70s and 80s.
There's an awful lot of stock. There's no getting around it. Just in this section here, I have Frenchie the maid, French maid, and French maid set. We've got nun, 3 different nun costumes, and the possibility to be a pregnant nun. If you came here without any idea about what you wanted to be, I think you would leave none the wiser. There's just too much choice.
And the problem isn't confined to the shop.
My goodness, so this is wigs?
This is just all
specs?
There are warehouses. 5 warehouses.
Okay.
All in all, there are 13,500 items of stock. Even Argos only has 20,000 stock lines, and they turn over £4 billion a year. No wonder Adele has money problems. This lot must have cost a bomb. With this much stock to shift, the Wiseman family really need to be natural-born sellers.
I've got that.
Yeah, I like it. We're not salespeople. We'd rather people ask us for things.
I'm slightly shocked about that because obviously,
a
large part of this business is sale.
It is, but we feel with the customers, we like to try and make them really welcome and, really give them a good service. I would hate anyone to think, oh, don't go in there, they're too pushy.
Adele may think she's welcoming, but the signs tell a different story.
My goodness.
Very popular.
Do you think you make the point often enough?
I know. We are aware of this. I know.
This is really off-putting.
I know.
Because, how do you know that you want to buy it and then until you try it on?
Fancy dress is supposed to be all about fun. But the only joy in this place is Adele's mother.
I'm Joy.
I'm Alex.
Who seems to be spearheading the campaign to put customers off.
I get cross when people don't respect it. Do you know what I mean? People come in and disrespect the place, and I don't like that.
I know, darling, but unfortunately that is what the customers are like. They want to come in and touch it and feel it and crunkle it and shove it on their heads and try it on their faces, and that's what a shop's about.
It is hard. It is hard when money's hard to come by.
Yeah.
And you work all the hours that God gives you. We do.
Yeah.
And then you see someone destroying it, but then listening to what you say, I kick them under the table.
But Joy's not alone.
Hi there.
Adele's son,
Ellis, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
who's in charge of controlling stock, is also allergic to the public.
I can't stand talking to customers. I have a thing about talking to customers. So I love being in my own office in a corner. My perfect day is just sitting here. I'd love to be able to lock the door so nobody else could come in and disturb me.
Not everyone needs to be front of house, but the anti-customer feeling has to go, and ditto the off-putting signs. And we have to reduce the stock mountain that's suffocating this shop floor.
I wonder if they say every 4 weeks, well, we haven't sold any of these. Let's get rid of them. Do they actually analyse what sells and what doesn't?
I'm going to put that to the test.
I'd like to see how well you know your shop, what sells, what doesn't, what your customers like. So I'm challenging you. Oh. There's a couple of rails over there and a few tables, and I would like each of you to pick out what you think your 10 best sellers were in August.
Oh. Ellis has an advantage here.
Yeah, he has.
Well, he might do, but does he ever look at it?
OK, I'm going this way. I'm going this way.
As well as needing to keep some perennial favourites, demand for fancy dress is driven by the latest trends and movies. Costume stock needs to be constantly updated to move with the times. Keeping on top of what people want is crucial to the success of this firm.
Oh, there's so much to choose from. This is the trouble.
You're looking a bit nervous.
No, not at all. I'm lost. Confident?
Yep. No.
So you do not, at the end of every month, see what has sold incredibly well and what has not sold one sausage.
No, that's why we've got so much stock.
Bingo.
Pirates are always popular.
I'm ruined. I don't even know where I work, who I am anymore.
I can't see any correlation in what anyone's choosing.
I'm going to be right on one of them.
They do seem quite definite about their choices. All right, so let's see what each of you has picked as their number one. What have you got as your number one, darling?
My number one is these.
Yeah, all right, what's your number one?
It's a cigarette holder.
Right, yours?
Yeah. Deluxe garlands.
And number one. And your number twos?
Number two. Oh, mine's a wig.
Well, interestingly enough, you're all way, way out. Honestly, shocking. Because the top three were the satin-style bowler hat. OK.
Oh, that's because we had all them.
The silver ball head boppers.
Yeah, we had a run on
and
them.
the cigarette holder. So at least you got one of them.
I'm astounded. Not only do all their choices differ, but Reese and Joy didn't get a single bestseller right. Adele scored a paltry 1 out of 10, and even Ellis, who is supposedly in charge of ordering stock, only got 2. In fact, the only thing they are any good at is not having a clue what's selling in their own shop.
You're buying too much and you're not clear about what's working and what's not. And you need to start, there's so much stock in here. To start shedding, you need to start knowing what sells and actually just as much what doesn't. So I think what you have to get into the habit of doing every single month, you must sit down and analyse the figures.
We should have known. It was embarrassing.
We didn't even know what the best blooming 10 sellers was. God, you know, that's knocked me for 6.
From having my own business, I know how easy it is to become all consumed by work, and Adele is no different.
So have you done 7 days a week for the last 13 years?
More or less, yeah. I have the odd week holiday here and there. But before that, I was a riding instructor and I also worked 7 days a week then. So I've actually worked 7 days a week since I left school, really.
So do you think that the whole thing would collapse if you weren't here to keep it going?
I'm quite a perfectionist, so I do like things done, everything followed through. And I can't help but being busy. I have to check that everyone's doing it properly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm the conductor trying to keep them all going, but then I also play all the instruments as well.
Do you think that's healthy for the furtherance of the business, though?
No, not at all.
Because I think, you know, admirable as it is that you work so hard in the business, you must separate out your professional life and your personal life.
Do you know what? That is the worst thing, I think, that this family business has actually, in many respects, ruined our family feeling as such, because we were always in each other's pockets all the time. Ellis, the other day, said to me, I don't come over the weekends unless I'm working, because I know that as soon as I do turn up, I am expected to work.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't want to become like you.
Okay.
Having worked with my family all my life, I know how emotional it can be. Relationships can become strained to breaking point. I want to help Adele get her business and her family life back. To save this shop, the Wiseman family really need to take back control and impose some kind of order. I need to give it to them straight.
I think something you often lose when you've been working so long and so hard at a business is the initial impression customers have when they arrive at your place. Yours is a destination fancy dress shop. People drive to find you, yeah? That means they need to be knocked off their feet as they walk in that door. You've got some lovely, lovely things in there. I don't think you're doing them justice, because you've got such a volcanic eruption of stuff that you don't really know where to look. I think it's a big problem that you all spend so much time at work together. I think it's an enormous shame you don't spend any time out of work together, and I think that's your fault, because you lead by example. All of you have too little time as a family and too much time as business colleagues. So, something that I'd like to ask the two of you about is, I think you both need to step up, be made to step up and be professional. You being around all the time is kind of exacerbating the situation, because they never need to really be sure about anything, because you're always bloody there.
Yeah.
I think staffing is another issue entirely.
Saturday, people.
Saturdays and Sundays is a nightmare.
Is it? Why?
We get young girls coming in for Saturday and Sunday jobs.
But why don't you have your regular staff working at the busiest times of the week?
A lot of them won't.
None of us bloody like working a Sunday. It's shift work, it's rotated, so you can plan your life around it.
Could we not do that? Let's do it on a rota.
Well, do you not do that?
Nothing.
They have set hours. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is definitely something we're going to tackle, because I'm all for never asking your staff to do something you wouldn't do yourself. But you're going the completely opposite extreme. You know, so you're prepared to work it, but you can't ask your staff to, for goodness sake.
Well, we have asked, but they won't change.
They won't change. Well, all right. Well, then, unfortunately, there may be some natural wastage, but I tell you what, you'll have one person leave and it'll stop there.
It's a harsh message, but one that really needs to sink in with the family. Next day, and I want to move on to more pressing matters. The shop is in the middle of nowhere. With no passing trade, the people of Essex need to know they exist if their sales figures are going to improve.
Today, we're going to do some market research. I want to ask them, have they heard of Props and Frocks? Have they been to a fancy dress party in the last year? And if they have, what did they dress up as? Are they planning on going to a fancy dress party? And what would they like to dress up as?
This is also a great marketing opportunity, and there's no better way to draw attention to the business than going out in their own fancy dress. But choosing an outfit from the thousands on offer is not going to be easy.
I find it very difficult. Too much choice, which I'm sure the customers get as well. Looking good.
No.
No, not that either.
I used to be a stripper.
Now. Does this look good or does it?
No.
I think it's too tight around there.
Best six-pack I've ever had. Happy.
Let's go, come on.
Let's go.
With Batman and his merry band, we are making a beeline for Basildon. It's the closest town to the shop and should be their biggest market. But is it?
Have you heard of Props and Frocks fancy dress shop?
No. Do you know who Props and Frocks are? No?
Sorry, what?
Props and Frocks fancy dress shop.
No, I never heard of it.
No? OK.
Is that around here?
No.
No, where's that one?
I'm sure they're slightly stunned, shocked by the results. I mean, this is right on their doorstep.
No.
No.
I know that one in Southend.
No.
I'm having a bad afternoon.
Yes,
Not that one.
Oh, sorry.
No.
there hasn't been one person that's actually known about the shop, which is pretty dire, I have to say, considering that Basildon is really a main town very near the shop. So I am not impressed at the moment.
What did you go as last time?
Kim, wasn't it?
Oh, suit you, down to the ground.
Fancy dress shop down there.
No, it's not that one.
No one knows us. No, and you know, I always thought that a lot of people come from Basildon to my shop, but obviously they don't. And I'm really shocked, you know, really shocked. Yeah.
How many yeses? How many did you get who'd heard of
2.
Frocks and Frocks? You?
11.
Oh!
Well, I had one man asking me what bus size I was.
Yes.
Isn't that just the pleasure of talking to the general public? I've got 5.
And I
plus
got
2,
4.
Plus 11, plus 4, yeah, plus?
And I've got 4.
22, 26. Out of 163 people, only 26 had heard of Frocks and Frocks.
It's horrendous.
Does that shock you?
It's terrible.
Bearing in mind, only 5 minutes down the road, I thought there'd have been more yeses.
It's unbelievable, actually. And what was more worrying was the amount of people that hadn't heard of us, that had been to a fancy dress party in the last year and going to go again in the next 6 months. So that's even more worrying because that's all lost business.
But it also shows that somehow or other, I mean, a simple way to make sure that your business increases is just to make sure that more people bloody know you're there. Yeah. Isn't it? It's been a rather sobering morning, hasn't it?
It's really,
Really has, yeah.
another one.
A week later and I'm back to start addressing the sizable stock issue. Last year, Props and Frocks came within months of going under because Adele spent £80,000 on stock just as the recession hit. Instead of the upturn in business she'd gambled on, demand dropped off a cliff. But it appears that didn't teach her a lesson.
Tell me what all this is on the table.
Right, this is what we have in daily. This is a large order today.
Yeah.
It's not usually as big as this.
It just seems to me that after our conversations over the last couple of days, everyone's in agreement that we have to somehow cut the stock down to be able to display things differently, one, to be able to make sure that you sell every item that you stock, two, and to finally make sure that you're more profitable, which means spending, making more than you spend.
Yes.
Who decides that you need 3 of these pirate beards rather than 2, or that you need 5 of these old English king's crowns?
No, that's down to Ellis.
So that is down to Ellis.
Yeah.
OK.
I'm not convinced Ellis is the problem. He might have set up the reordering system, but I don't believe he's the stockaholic in this business.
Hello. So, I have just seen a whole table full of stuff that's just come in, new stock for the shop. One of the main things that we have to do is try and condense your stock lines. You have got to decide that if something has only sold so many pieces in the last 6 months, then that's a line that you're going to drop.
The other day we wanted to increase all the stock levels.
But the one I was talking about turns out to be our top-selling costume that I did say we need to have a higher reorder level.
In the last 8 months, it's only gone out of stock once.
That's a good thing to know. I think that somehow, I don't know how you're going to have to do this, but we're going to have to hog-tie your mum and stop her ordering stuff. So, how are we going to get the stock down? Let's decide what we need to offload and then work out how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I love these.
With Halloween just weeks away, I need this shop on top form, ready for their busiest time of the year. Adele has been hoarding stock for ages, but her obsession with the costumes is just cluttering the place up. If she can't see the problem inside the shop, then maybe taking it outside will shed some light on it.
It's making me feel a bit sick, yeah, I have to say.
I've discovered from Ellis that 500 of their lines are so out of date they've been discontinued, and another 1,000 sold less than 10 units last year.
Give or take £8,500 worth. In this list alone.
What does that tell you about ordering?
That I need to be put in one of my own straitjackets, I think.
It's time for a cull.
Yeah, that's got to go. What have you got in there?
I've got some thriller costumes.
Thriller costumes, as Ellie said, is one of our best sellers.
I know, but as I've just been pointed out, do we need 156
no,
of them?
We don't. No.
Oh, look at it. It's quite sad, isn't it? Seeing it all sat there, all homeless and unloved.
Can you admit now that you've got a problem?
When I bought them, yeah, there was obviously a problem, because I would say, honestly, the majority of this stock is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, there's just a lot of it.
Just a lot of it, and it hasn't sold. You know, I am sad when I see some really good costumes here. But I have to recognise that I do have a problem, a bit like an alcoholic. I have to realise I have a problem.
I knew it was going to be incredibly difficult for Adele, but it really did work because actually confronted with the enormity of the stockpile she's created, she had to realise that her ways have to be mended, and also that stockpile has got to be tackled.
To be honest, what shocks me is that my over-ordering could have potentially closed his business, and that would have been really sad. It has to go. Oh. It's like, I feel like, well, I've never had a kid that goes off to university, but I actually feel that this is what it would be like. Yeah.
Adele might not have seen her kids go to university, but that's precisely where her stock is going.
You've not sold any for 7 years. What makes us...
Well, we're going to give them away. £1 a jacket or £2 a jacket. Chuck them on. We'll get rid of them.
Van is loaded. We're going to sell loads today. I hope.
We're off to the University of Essex Colchester campus for a sale. The biggest growth area in fancy dress hire in the UK is in university towns.
We've got to set up, get the prices on, and sell, sell, sell.
There's nothing students love more than slapping on something silly and stepping out for a night on the town. And with over 11,000 students, Essex Uni should be packed with potential punters.
Hiya, we've got special prices today for fancy dress.
Yeah, we're pricing up really cheaply. Literally more or less cost a couple of quid maybe on each item, so we're getting rid of stuff, which is awesome. Well, we've got rid of one thing so far.
But the costumes are not leaping off the racks. Drastic action is required. Great, huh? You too could look like this.
What is it, actually?
What do you mean, what is it? Hi, we're doing fancy dress today, 50% off for students. Fancy dress?
Halloween! Stop! Can I get your Halloween?
Fancy dress!
Loads of different reactions from different people. They just don't seem to be coming to the stall very much.
Fancy dress, sir?
No one's buying anything. Shall we just try and sell them off even cheaper?
Well,
just to get rid of the bloody things.
It's for free. It's for free.
I know, but I know.
Okay.
I didn't want it. Not even
Not
for
for
free.
People aren't interested.
They really aren't. It's amazing.
that would look good on you.
You don't need a wig, do you?
So Alex couldn't work her charms either?
No, not even Alex could win this crowd over.
What are we going to do? And I'm just pricing things down and down and down.
Should we cut our losses and go home?
shall we?
I'm trying to be positive, but this really has been a disastrous day. I suppose the only positive we can draw from this is that you handed out a lot of leaflets.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
We tried. That's all we can do, isn't it?
Clearly, students are more frugal than they were in my day. With barely any stock shifted, it's been a real blow to us all.
Oh, God, I'm going to have to cudgel my brain still further. And I think clearly it's essential that I open them to new markets. They have to keep on trying alternative routes. They have to keep on bringing new clients into this shop. They can't just depend on their old pool of regular customers.
But with a new day comes a new idea. I think a designated clearance area in the shop is needed to tackle the stock mountain.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
And you?
I've asked retail designer Carl McKeever, who's worked with brands like M&S and Disney, to help me make this happen.
Come in and meet the family.
Hiya.
Joy, Adele, this is Carl.
Great to see you. Hello.
Hi, I'm Adele.
Hi, Adele. Nice
How
to
are
meet
you?
you. Very well, thanks.
Found us okay?
Yes, eventually.
So, Carl, do you want to tell them what your first impressions were?
I think for me, this is it's such an interesting shop because from the outside you have no idea at all what's really inside. If you weren't sure, you could think you'd driven up to a sex shop because there's boobs and bums in the window.
You know that private shop thing, the black front.
With the red lettering and things, you know, crikey.
Oh, my goodness. I hadn't thought of that. Oh, my goodness.
We might get more people in.
That's another room you're not showing us, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to get you guys to take us round so that Carl gets the full glory of the plethora of stock that you have.
One row of changing rooms there.
Sure, yeah. So how many costumes have you got here?
Higher costumes, we've probably got about 4,000 now.
Wow, that's a vast choice, isn't there? Massive.
Again, more costumes everywhere. This one's already been dropped.
Well, I was going to say, as we've been going around, I noticed you hiding that. I can see another one here.
Oh, no! Do you know, I've been everywhere. Oh.
Yeah, and you know, this whole environment says, touch me, play with me,
I know.
Interact with me. But there's a lot of kind of, you know, don't touch, don't do this, don't do this.
Because we're in here so much, it's a bit like our home.
Of course.
And so it's like somebody coming in, picking up your ornament, breaking it, and it's that feeling of thinking, bloody cheek, you know, what are they doing that for? And to actually take that step back, it's very difficult, isn't it?
Oh, hard.
And it is a problem. It's getting that fine line between giving people service and looking over their shoulder, which is nothing worse, is there, than having somebody hovering, which isn't what we want to do at all, is it?
The shop will need a huge overhaul, but so will Adele and Joy's attitude to customers. By stopping them from handling the goods, they are definitely hurting sales. I need to show them what good customer service looks like.
Hello, Alex. Well, we've been allowed access into this store because I'd like you to see how brilliantly they achieve their levels of customer service. And I think there's a lot of lessons from this place that we can take back and apply to your shop.
Uniqlo is part of the third largest fashion retailer on the planet. It's done this by building the business around a simple idea that the customer is king.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. This is Uniqlo Regent Street. How can I help? Hello, good morning, good afternoon. This is Uniqlo Regent Street. How can I help? Please let me know if you need any help. Please let me know if you need any help.
Like many big retail businesses, the shopping experience here is deliberately designed to get the customer to touch and try on clothes. All the evidence shows that touching leads to buying. In fact, 65% of men buy what they try.
You're all going to follow someone, so you're not just going to be chucked into this.
Okay.
But you can see that they've got this enormous emphasis on how they communicate with the customer, which I think is very important. A huge emphasis on smiling, on not having ones. Yes, no crossed arms. The important thing is, you know, we've got to break this idea of yours that the goods in your shop are somehow an extension of your own personal stuff. It's not. It's merchandise. Merchandise that customers need to interact with to be tempted to buy. And what I want to do is break that
idea that you have of your shop as being an extension of your home.
So what you do, put your hand under it.
You can see a messed up jumper.
Okay, now you need to hold that with the palm of your hand.
You don't mind when they make a mess?
No, our job.
That's exactly. She's got a shop and she doesn't like people touching the stuff and making a mess of it. So how's that aspect of things going?
Some of these, what they bring out, are just thrown.
It's good that you're just getting used to the fact that this is just,
All the folding.
this is just what it is. This is what you've got to do.
You've got to do it, that's it.
It really matters to me what my shop looks like, and I hate it being untidy. It's so nice, refreshing to see people taking this pride in keeping it all looking absolutely immaculate. You know, we've always done the best for our customers, but not always with a smile on our face.
As well as encouraging Adele and her mother to let customers try clothes on, this visit has also forced Ellis, who spends all his time hiding away, onto the shop floor.
We call next customer, please. Really loud and clear. Focus a lot on eye contact whilst we're greeting customer and doing the transaction.
However much he thinks that he's going to be able to be a back office boy, in a business their size, everyone needs to get mixed into the customer service.
Next customer, please. I'm shaking. I'm not very good at dealing with customers. I don't talk to customers. Hello, madam.
In common with all the family, Ellis takes things too personally.
Next customer, please.
They take people fiddling with the product very personally, but he takes how customers react to him very personally, and actually it's just a job.
So we're going to find you a customer, you're going to approach them, just say, hi there, is there anything I can help you with? You're going to smile. The lady in the purple jacket.
Can I help you at all?
I'm just looking around, thank you.
Okay. Can I help you at all? Still struggling a little bit with the contacting customers, but I freeze up a little bit. We're getting better, I think. Cashmere is actually on offer at the moment.
Okay.
The men's are $69.90 and the women's are over there at $49.90. If you need any help, come give us a shout.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think the whole family are going to go away from here having learnt so much.
It is full on. This is full on. And my girls think they work hard sometimes.
They're very insular. They don't get out of their own environment enough, and they've forgotten what the real world's like.
I mean, there's so many people coming through this store, and yet they're still keeping a happy, smiling face on the whole time. And I just think it's been brilliant.
Seeing how successful retail works has shown Adele that when the shop is at its busiest, she needs all her key staff to be working, even at the weekends.
I think Adele, in a completely bonkers way, has been running the whole business in a way that's comfortable for the staff rather than in a way that's good for the business.
You got Bo Peep?
We do have Bo Peep.
Right, so if I have a look at Bo Peep and Penguin.
Yeah. Of course you should have your best staff working when it's busiest. And the fact that she hasn't imposed that on them is obviously something I needed to tackle. Her family have somehow got to regain some personal time, and that will be much aided by the fact that they don't all have to be there all the time, covering all the bloody shifts, and all of them always having to work the weekend. I mean, it's just silly.
Jo, are you there? Are you able to come over?
I need Adele to confront her staff and put in place a whole new way of working. Without this, the business, and more importantly, Adele herself, will suffer.
Now, if you want this to be a lean, mean fighting machine, you're going to have to change a few of your working practices. Now, I personally don't think that I should be involved in that at all, because I think it will cause much more resentment. Everyone loves you and trusts you. That's why they work for you. So, you know, it has to come from you. But you understand that there's good business reasons that I've given you for why you need to make changes. Yeah? Sure. That this isn't a knee-jerk reaction. It's not from looking at a list of people and saying there's too many people for that number of hours. None of that. I'm just saying to you that you've, you know, come on. Yeah?
I know it's not going to be popular, and I'm not feeling particularly good at the moment. And I know this is going to be a bitter pill from this afternoon, so yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. 'Cause 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 As you are all aware, there have been loads and loads of challenges for Props and Frocks. If you look at our business UK-wide, and you'll be, we already know there are many shops that are closing down or have downsized all over the country. I need to push the company forward and in a really good direction. Changes are never easy, and sometimes they can be painful. The shop is open 7 days a week, and we need professional, experienced staff to help us cover those 7 days a week. Now, I'm expecting people to work 1 weekend in 4, with 2 days off in the week in lieu. I know it's not going to be popular, but by looking after a few of you, it's putting additional workload onto others. Has anyone got any questions?
Nope.
OK, I'm going to put you on the spot, guys. Do you need to think about it?
I'm thinking.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Hi. If it means keeping our job, I suppose we'll have to.
This really is a massive step forwards. I know the staff will find it difficult at first, but it is for the greater good.
It's going to be really hard for me, but to give up my weekends, it's going to be really hard. I don't know how I'm going to sort it out, really, but we'll just see.
I think she needs us to support her as much as we can, which I've only worked here a few years, but I love my job, so...
How painful is all the change that's afoot here?
I think it was the big thing was the Sunday. It's just if there's a rota and you really need that Sunday off and you just can't swap it with anybody, and then you just think, and I know I will think, is this worth it?
Everyone has shift patterns, whether you're working in a supermarket or whether you're working, Harrods. I don't expect everyone to like it. I just expect you either to get on with it or not. She's not doing this as a personal attack. She's doing this to make sure the business can survive.
I think the girls took it reasonably well. I was looking at their faces and it was, they all looked quite sad and very serious. And I wasn't expecting to get a yes.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, bye.
I'm not going to be sitting there thinking, how many staff am I going to have at the end of next week? Because I don't think that is the case.
Asking the staff to work shifts is only the first stage in getting Adele to step back. Now she needs to make time for herself, so I've insisted that she doesn't come into work for a few days. I know she'll struggle with it, but it's time for Reese and Ellis to show they can manage.
I've just broke my nail.
Oh, no. Oh, well, that's next week's day off sorted.
With Adele out of the way, Reese and Ellis are heading to London for a business opportunity they think could be too good to miss.
We must be nearly there now, mustn't we?
The Great Gorilla Run is an annual event frequented by thousands of people who love dressing up. So it's a brilliant chance to do some targeted marketing.
I'm the fairy gorilla. Mr. Gorilla!
It's great, isn't it?
Do you want to take a cape to wear? You wear it for you to wear. OK? Excuse me, is that a cape?
The cape's going down really well.
As well as potential customers, Reese and Ellis are following up on a tip-off they've had, which could lead to a big order.
Hiya. Hello. Hello. Are you Gillian? Yes, I am. Hello, I'm Reese, this is Ellis. We're from Props and Frocks. It's a fancy dress shop in Essex.
Yeah, I've seen these red capes around. People are wearing them.
Yeah, that was us. We've been handing them out. We've heard that you're looking for a new supplier of the gorilla costumes.
Right.
And we was wondering if we could arrange to come and see you and tell you what we could do for you.
We're in Primrose Hill in North London.
OK, so not too far away. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, then. Well, I'll give you
Having been allowed to step out from their mother's shadow, the siblings have really performed. I think it shows they have the ambition the business needs.
The capes were amazing. We could not have imagine the impact that they had. People say, oh, can I have one, can I have one? So eventually I think we had about 50, 60 out there. There's about 50, 60 people now that know about us that didn't know about us before. So potentially that's 50 new customers.
Are you really struggling? You are, aren't you?
I normally would have some communication.
I think time off is incredibly important because when you have a little bit of distance, you get clarity. And if you're always right up here to the problem, then it's very hard to make sense of it. I mean, it sounds like she's worked 7 days a week since she was about 16.
It's been great spending a bit of time with Mike, my partner. We never, ever see each other. I mean, we might say hello in the morning. By the time I get home, it's dark, have a shower, go to bed. So this has been lovely. I think that I have looked upon the business as another child, and other parts of my life have definitely taken a bit of a knock because of that. The temptation to pick the phone up has been rather strong. I appreciate I need to take a step back. I've got to give the kids a chance to be their own boss, to make decisions.
So same time next week then?
And after some time away, has the place fallen to pieces?
Well, I'm back. What's happened? My first impressions, everything looks tidy. Having a wander, there's nothing that is out of place. First of all, I'm actually going to see if everyone read the notes that I left. And actually, they have. Looking at the book, the world did not collapse without Adele, which is brilliant.
Not only have they followed instructions, but in Adele's absence, the kids have also made a bit of a dent in the stock problem.
So, Reese, what happened at the front? Because it looked to me like it was quite a busy day in the shop yesterday.
It was busy in the shop. We had a customer come in for ex-hire. She bought 11 ex-hire costumes, which were a lot of the Victorian costumes that are quite bulky and take up a lot of space. And we had checked, and they've not been out for 2 years.
Yeah. So?
And it was double of what it was to hire. It's not been out, so it's gone.
Taking a deep breath.
Yeah.
And trying to think for the greater good.
It's all good.
As hard as that is, because I love all my costumes and I've got a story about every single one of them. So not even to be able to say goodbye to them.
Oh, God.
That is ridiculous.
I know.
If you've got more affection towards costumes than you've got to your own family, then you've got serious issues.
I've got serious issues.
Your friends are your costumes.
Yeah, but she's got 5,000 members of family.
With Halloween fast approaching, Carl and his team are back to overhaul this scatterbrained space. New signage, new layout, and of course, a better way to display the stock.
It's a great way to present the clearance products, but also in a way which is very easy for the customer to shop. And for me, there's no reason why, the displays in this store shouldn't be the same high quality as they would be in a high street boutique. Just because it's fancy dress doesn't mean to say the customer wants to look any less convincing when they're wearing the outfit for themselves.
But bringing the shop up to scratch won't be enough on its own. I need the family to put all their efforts into how we fill it with new customers too. We're going to put on a big event with people who may be able to use you. So I'm thinking nightclub owners, people who hold parties, anyone who you could market to. I'd like to get them into the shop and then have you guys show your expertise of what you do so well, which is dress them up.
Could we do a catwalk?
I love that idea, I really do. So we're all up for this one final push.
One final push, yeah?
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
Biggest push.
Good.
Yeah.
But as the big day gets closer, so the stress levels go up.
There's a lot of stress going on. I feel sick that it's all going to go tits up and it'll all backfire and no one will turn up.
Right, OK. We've been trying to do this meeting for about 2 hours on that because, really, I am losing the will to live here. Oh, my God. Need to think about the leaflets handing out, the games that we could do, and music. They're the key things.
We've put 110% into it, so if it does fail, it's going to be a bit of a kick in the teeth.
My poor brain can't take any more. This is not a woman in control of anything at the moment. It all has to be done today. Yeah.
Oh, no.
After a monumental week for the Wisemans, I'm back to see just how much they've managed to dress this business up. Aha, the first sign of the changes that I'm expecting to find inside. It looks great. Really bright, really appealing. A fancy dress shop.
I think Alex is going to be amazed by the transformation, and I can imagine what she's going to say in my head.
So much better. It's immediately obvious where you have to go.
But I think she's going to be wowed over by it. I hope she is, anyway.
Ooh, look at this! Gosh, that's fab. Mannequins. The vibrant signage leads the customer to the shop front, which now has an exciting and enticing window display. I love being able to see into the store. I think it makes a huge difference. It makes you very excited about walking in and already looking forward to spending some money. Thankfully, it no longer looks like a sex shop in Amsterdam. A bright new logo has brought the front to life. Hello! Oh, my goodness! The whole shop has been transformed. Where once there was clutter, now colour-coded themed rooms make things clear for the customers. It does feel less overwhelming.
Definitely.
Instead of overstuffed shelves, stock has been pared back and displays have been used to really sell the costumes. It does make a huge difference seeing them out of a packet, doesn't it, actually?
We sold, didn't we, one costume that we hadn't sold for 2 years?
No.
We sold 3 in one day.
No! New changing rooms have been fitted to encourage customers to try things on. This is, after all, a dressing up business. Oh my goodness, it looks fantastic.
It's so inviting. Carpet.
Darling, I love it. And there's a large clearance area to allow the family to sell the unwanted stock off cheaply.
It's surprising how people then can go straight in and focus on that area.
Yeah.
And it's made, I think, people's choices so much easier, hasn't it?
Yeah.
On the whole, it feels fun and full of character.
Chief merchandiser now is Ellis. who
If you'd ever believe it.
Darling!
I've done all this, if you can believe it.
I know, I can't believe it, actually.
It's changed, isn't it? Yeah. He actually approaches customers now.
Yeah.
We actually think he's been taken away by aliens and replaced.
Tonight, the shop will be full of guests invited to mark the relaunch of the business, which gives all of us a chance to road test the new changing rooms.
The best changing rooms in Essex. Yay! Oh, God, that makes my eyeballs. I can't wait. Ta-da!
Joining the family for the relaunch is a guest list of Essex party people. Everyone from venue managers, party planners, event coordinators and theatre groups. The great and the good who might want to bring their business here.
I would like to say, first of all, thank you to every single person that has bent over backwards through this last couple of weeks of complete chaos. We couldn't have done it without you. And I cannot thank you all enough for that. So thank you very, very much. Thank you ever so much for coming, everybody. I declare the new Props and Frocks open. Yay!
With press and photographers here too, I'm in no doubt it'll hugely up the shop's profile. Now the family need to get their business heads on.
Big smiles, really
be loads of fun. We're going to get some music playing.
They've organised a catwalk show to really bring their stock to life. The invited party professionals seem to be impressed.
Do you like our changing room?
Really good, really good.
It's modern and really nice.
I think it looks really great. I mean, there aren't many fancy dress shops in the area that have such a fantastic selection of stock, so I'll definitely be using the shop in the future.
The atmosphere is quite warm, and the decor as well, with the way the costumes have been presented, is quite lovely.
Do you like the shop reorganisation?
It's beautiful, yeah. It's lovely, really nice.
It's more spacious. Yeah, it looks like there's more in it.
Obviously a great opportunity to see what's available, but I think from a promotional point of view, I think they've done really well.
The event has given the business a strong local presence. I feel like I'm leaving them in a much better state than I found them. They just need to stick to the lessons they've learned along the way. The important things are you've got to keep your stock buying under control.
Yes.
You've got to make sure you have some time off. You've got to allow your kids some room to breathe and develop.
Yes.
Because they are so bloody good already. Imagine what they will be when they're forced to take on more responsibility.
Yeah, definitely. We can't thank you enough, can we?
No.
No.
Oh, thank you.
There's been a couple of things that have been difficult to take, but we have taken them on board and we've dealt with them, and I think we're still learning. Not everything's fixed just like that. We are definitely going along the right road, and I'm so pleased that the whole family are going along the same road together, which is, for once is it's just fantastic.
Two and a half months later, how is Props and Frocks faring?
I think I'm 3/4 of the way to being cured.
She'll never be cured thoroughly.
I might not be completely cured. I'm 100% better than I was.
The family now keep £30,000 less stock than they did, which is a huge step forwards.
As I could see how things have more space, they're displayed better, we actually sell more stuff. That's the lesson, isn't it?
And Adele has managed to find time for herself away from the business.
When I'm not working in the shop, I actually do feel that you two can get on and cope with most problems. I don't feel now that I need to be here.
Adele's a lot more chilled now at work, so we can spend more time with her as my mum, not just the boss.
I think having some time for me has made me a better person, a better mum, a better daughter, a better grandparent, because now I actually have some time, and I've got some time to be, I can play with my grandkids, I can go out shopping with my daughter, and I don't feel that I can't do that because I'm working.
It is having like a second chance of doing all the bonding again, and it's special. Got her back.
It's given me my life back, which has been fantastic, I really have to say. And hopefully it's given my family me back, rather than me being so engrossed in this shop the whole time.
Michael Mosley is sharing the latest science for staying healthy next here on BBC Two as Horizon tells us the truth about exercise. While over on BBC 4 now, there's precision engineering with how to build a nuclear submarine. And on BBC 3, we're back on the ward with the junior doctors.